I'd like to welcome you all to the 7th Annual Systems Engineering Professionals Gala. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I'd also like to welcome our guest speakers, Mr. Robert Gold and Ms. Courtney Wright. Thank you for coming. I'd also like to welcome the Washington Metropolitan Area Chapter President, Dr. Islam. I'd like to welcome the INCOSE President-elect, Gary Riegler. And I'd like to welcome the past president, David Long. We'd also like to welcome Bob Scalamera, the chair of the Certification Advisory Group up front here. And we'd also like to invite our INCOSE Corporate Advisory Board members as well. Members at large too. It's good to see all of you again here at this annual event. So I hope you are enjoying the Garrett Jacobs Mansion in all of its splendor. There's really no better venue to host an event like this where we honor and recognize those individuals who have attained expert, certified, and associate systems engineering certification during this past year. As engineers, we are lifelong learners. The individuals in this room who have achieved professional certification are a testament to that commitment. Congratulations to each and every one of you. A very important part of achieving certification is having the endorsement and support of our employers, clients, and sponsors along the way.
So it is a wonderful honor for me to be here addressing you all. This is the second one of these that I did. The last one was just as fabulous as this one, the one last year. And I know that it's not really about me. It's about the long-standing relationship that this chapter of INCOSE has had with Advantage Systems Engineering. So I'm certainly honored to continue that relationship and to celebrate all of the recent recipients of the System Engineering certification. So what are some major themes for us in order to try to bring back that sense of innovation? So we really are looking at all sources of innovation opportunity. Traditionally, we looked at the DoD labs, the FFRDCs, academia, the military-industrial complex. But you've seen through the DIUX program, for example, that we're trying to reach out to Silicon Valley and some of their innovation activities. We've actually, on a longer-term front, had relationship with venture capitalists. So there was the original, something called Da Vinci at one time, which has now essentially become a habit. We actually can work with venture capitalists to give them opportunities to bring their cutting-edge companies to the combat commanders and present their products in kind of a more immediate fashion. And that's worked out well on a very small scale. Those companies, in fact, have sold things to our combat commanders directly. That's an example of how we'd like to accelerate the adoption cycle, but unfortunately, those examples are on a relatively small scale. It's sort of like a company that might sell chemical detection packets. We can make a couple of tweaks. We can provide that to Army staff who are going to the field, and then we have a kind of a rapid transition. But things more complex is definitely not that simple. So the more complex technologies can spend years being matured in our laboratories, and then once the basic technology is being sufficient, then we have to go through the practice of both getting the engineering communities comfortable with those technologies, getting them in the hands of the operators so that both of those activities come along. We can actually understand ways in which our industry partners can put them into fieldable systems, coupled with the operator's ability to actually use them in a military context. While the innovation certainly enables our long-term defense acquisition strategy, we have kind of a long ways to go to bring a lot of that to a fruitful end. It's kind of a snapshot of the big technical themes. You guys as systems engineers will have to sort through how to take the technologies, work through them in a very disciplined manner so that we deliver capabilities that can be supported, but do that in tune with the operators. So it's really come a long way since the 20 or 30 years ago that I started, but I'm certainly happy to be part of the department when these opportunities exist and these challenges exist. Thank you very much.
I was excited to be coming back here. I thought this was such a great event the last couple of years that I brought my husband with me this time. It's a really neat facility here, and it's fun for me to be around so many systems engineering professionals. So I thank you all for supporting the certification program, whether as an individual or through your organizations. I'm particularly excited to be presenting to you in this location as well. In the past, I just presented, here's how many SEPs the Chesapeake chapter has, but I thought it would be more fun if you got to guess how many. And so it's one of these numbers. Right, we got an answer in the back there. That could be, that's one of the numbers that's up there. Yeah, 97. One of these numbers is the year that the Engineers Club was founded. Right, so that narrows it down a little bit. And the other numbers represent the number of ASEPs, CSEPs, and ESEPs.
26 is my age.
Your age is 26? Yeah? Okay. So that means it's going to be a long time before you apply for ESEP, and I think I need to talk to your wife. I have some concerns for you. So we have the number of ASEPs, CSEPs, and ESEPs up here, and then from that you can extrapolate perhaps which one is the sum of those numbers. 147, yeah, there's no prizes, but feel free to shout things out. Next one. Okay, and we are just really selective. And I think you're going to see that there are some folks in this room who have met that very high standard for expert systems engineering professionals who have pursued that, and it makes it even more of an honor and something that we respect even more. We do have our highest denial rate is at the ESEP level. We have people who are applying for this and are very experienced, knowledgeable systems engineers, but they just are not at that expert level that we have in there. And we welcome them as CSEPs. If someone applies for ESEP and doesn't get approved, they become a CSEP. They can become a CSEP by passing the exam.
Mr. Benjamin Gianni received his ASEP this year from Loyola University, Maryland. CSEP from Northrop Grumman Corporation. Mr. Marcus Edwards, CSEP from Northrop Grumman Corporation. Leeds, CSEP, Northrop Grumman Corporation. Last but not least, Mr. Lynn Morgan from Leidos, ESEP. Congratulations.
This is how it's done, Bill. Sorry, it's been a long night.
Congratulations. So congratulations to the Chesapeake Chapter Class of 2016. And I'd like to invite the WMA Class of 2016 to join us up here at the podium for a photo. And then I'd like to ask all of the expert systems engineering professionals in the room to form a line to acknowledge the recipient of the systems engineering.